Good evening, everybody, and welcome to O'Rourke's Public House. A nice crowd on hand for tonight's Mike Brey radio show. I'm Jack Nolan, joined as always by the head coach of the Fighting Irish. And since we were last here, last Thursday, we were in Blacksburg playing Virginia Tech. So since we've had our last show, you have defeated Miami, Virginia Tech, NC State in overtime, and last night Duke. Pretty good couple of weeks.
Not a bad run, huh?
No, not at all.
Not a bad run at all, but a but a very, very quick turnaround for a noon game on Saturday against Pittsburgh, who's, even though their record is not Pittsburgh-like, they're going to be really good, and that's going to be a hard one for us. And I'm very interested to see how we come out after, you know, the stretch that we've had, certainly this week and last night, and everybody telling our guys they're pretty good. Interested to see how we come out on Saturday at noon.
Okay, folks, did you notice what just happened here? Everybody watching here, people listening. We have all this great stuff to talk about. Where is his head at? His head's not thinking of Blue Devils. His head's thinking of Panthers and Saturday and keeping this going. And I think you did a terrific thing in the locker room that we're going to put on your TV show tomorrow, just about, you know, and I was asked this today, is this team special? Well, yeah, but to earn that monogram, special monogram permanently, you have to finish. You can't stop now. And I don't think your team has that mindset. But as a coach, I mean, you've done terrific things. Last night, you got the attention of the entire nation, and you can't stop focusing because it's the hard work and the focus that's gotten you here.
We can't hide anymore, can we?
No, you're not under the radar. You're a big, huge dirigible coming in.
Yeah, that's good, though. We deserve it. This group deserves it. They did a heck of a job back in June starting this thing and putting it together, and then through Italy, which was such a great experience for our team, that foreign tour, to be able to coach our guys in July and August. And I think it helped us be confident earlier than most teams. It's really a neat group. And you're right, though, one of the things that I did tell them last night, we've turned the page quickly after good wins, and we've had many of them. And I said, you know, I'll say this, because we need to turn it quick. I said, Saturday noon, you would have every reason to be a little flat and a little under-energized and the whole bit. I said, you know, you get that one. You get that one at Pittsburgh, which has always been a tough game for us. And really, it's kind of, you know, the old Big East rivalry. We've had some great games with Pittsburgh and Coach Dixon. You get that one, and that I'll tell you when we get back on the ground here around 6 o'clock on Saturday night, you're showing some signs of being a very special team. And they're very focused on that, but we've got a battle on our hands over there Saturday. But love our group. You know, you get through the first part of the league at 8-1. I certainly would take that if you asked me that on the 4th of July. You're going to be halfway through the ACC at 8-1. I would have signed up for that real quick. You know, we've had different guys step up at different times. Most recently, you know, the stuff that Bonzie Colson has given us is just really a great story and energizing. And who knows? You know, Bennett told our team today, Bonzie didn't play for the first 15 games. And then when he was called upon, he delivered. Who knows how this thing's going to go here down the stretch with different guys, especially when Connaughton fell on the back of his head the other night. I'm thinking this could be real interesting. But he's a pretty tough guy, isn't he? He comes right on back. And
he missed 64 seconds of playing time.
Yeah, he said when he walked back in the tunnel, he said, Coach, how do we get down 10? I said, I don't know, but get in there real quick. Let's get on in there. I was looking for him at the timeout. We had a timeout. I said, where's Pat? He said, he's in the tunnel getting checked for a concussion. 2 minutes. I go, I'm going to call 2 timeouts in a row until we get him back. Well, we got him back quick. And, you know, what was great about, you know, our seniors set the tone. And I always felt this year we would have a shot, given Grant and Connaughton returning and running the team. These are 2 seniors. They've been around. They've won together. Rock-solid guys, really talented guys. And they've done a great job setting the tone with this team and getting the other guys ready. And, you know, we've had younger guys get more confident and step forward. But it goes back to, no question, it goes back to we were able to practice and play in July and August. We didn't have to wait till October to kind of put the wheels back on this thing after a disappointing season last year.
Now, I remember when you last went to Ireland, your team got tired that year.
Yeah.
You kind of wore out. And I know you were even a little hesitant. I don't know if we do this again. This team, it's been all positive. They clearly aren't tired the way they keep coming back.
Well, I think it was important too for us to come, to Coach Jackson in August as starters in July and August. I mean, that was a key. We needed to get them confident, and Bastoria to do more, and Beachem to be that. Beachem came off the bench in Italy just like he's coming off the bench now. He did the exact same thing over there in Italy. So for him to get a chance to do that, and unlike that team who had gone to the NCAA tournament the year before and played for a while and were older, this team had so many young new parts, and we did not go to the NCAA tournament. Matter of fact, we didn't go to any tournament. I don't even count us going to the ACC tournament last year. We got kicked out of it so quick when Wake beat us. So we needed to kind of hit the reset button and get things going. Grant coming back. Connaughton wasn't with us until the Italy practices. So there was so many moving parts to get together. And those trips are great team-building trips, too. You're together. You're doing things together. We were in a bus traveling through Italy for 15 days, and it really builds the chemistry and camaraderie, too.
Demetrius Jackson, McDonald's All-American, had a tough first year. And right now, he is so key to your team, and he does something that is unique and not noticed by many, but he is pressuring the ball man-to-man for 35, 38 minutes a night. He's still scoring 14 points a game, and he really is kind of your point guard. He's the first guy normally that brings it up. Did you expect him to take this giant a step from last year to this year?
I thought he'd be really improved. He's come even further than I thought. The best thing that happened to him, as you've heard me say, is Eric Atkins graduated. So we could give him the ball and he could be the quarterback and the point guard, and again, was able to coach him in that role in July, not have to wait till October with the trip to Italy. We simplified his role over there. Pressure the ball, run our team. The one thing he's done defensively, where maybe that position last year, the point guard position, got the upper hand on us sometimes because maybe we couldn't guard it, he guards that position pretty consistently. And Jones got going a little bit last night, but at the end of the day, he almost kind of takes that position away. He pressures the ball. He gets you some steals. And then just make good decisions with the ball. He's come a long way as a quarterback guard. He's come a long way as a decision maker. I think playing with Jaron Grant helps him because when you play with Jaron every day, you see the basketball decisions that he makes and his basketball IQ. I think you become a better playmaker almost by osmosis a little bit, just feeling how Jaron sees the game. Certainly his scoring spurts, NC State last night, all have given us, reason to get going. He could still get better, but it's a simple role for him. He doesn't have to do too much, and I think it's been very comfortable for him.
You've played 9 ACC games. In 6 of them, you've fallen behind by double digits, and you have come back to win 5 of those games, including 4 of the last 5 games you've fallen behind. Have you ever been part of a team, and you're not doing this against Division II teams, you're doing it against ACC conference teams, some of the top teams in the league. Have you ever been around a team that seems to have this kind of reservoir where not only do they not get intimidated or panic, but they have some place they can dig down deep to get both the offensive focus but the defensive intensity?
Yeah, not really. They've been really poised. They don't get frustrated. They don't hang their head. In all these games, and we talked about it today at practice, in all these games, we get going offensively eventually, and we're really efficient, and we can really score it, and we move the ball, and we play the game the right way on that offensive end. But to finish all these games, we've defended at crunch time really well. And really from the 9-minute mark on, we really guarded the heck out of them. Rotated, got him over, we defensive rebounded, and that's what they've done. I mean, they've understood it's had to get started on the defensive end, and we're improved on that end from last year. It's helped us. We know we can rely on it more.
You made it very clear that you knew that Notre Dame kind of had to earn its stripes in this new conference in the ACC, and having gone through one previous conference entrance, I know how important that is from officiating right on down. And when you look at what you've done, you're midway through your second year, and when you talk ACC, you often hear the term Tobacco Road. And there are 3 teams down in Tobacco Road: North Carolina, Duke, and NC State, all of whom have great legacies, all of whom have won national championships. And midway through your second year, you've already beaten all 3 of those teams, and you've beaten all 3 of them already this year.
Yeah, I think that's really powerful. You know, one of the things I was very frustrated about last season was I wanted to go into this league with the momentum we had in the Big East. Syracuse and Pittsburgh were able to do that. We weren't. That's why this year is very crucial for us to kind of put our stake in the ground and say, hey, we're for real in this league. When I got here in 2000, you had to beat a Connecticut. You had to beat a Georgetown. You had to beat a Syracuse to feel like, okay, Notre Dame's for real in this league now, the Big East. And I think, you know, with how we played to date halfway through the league, you know, I think we're earning our stripes as, okay, this is the program we thought we were getting from the ACC. I mean, I feel responsibility to carry the flag for the league, too. You know, I mean, they were like, God, we're excited to have you in the league, and then we go 6-12. So, you know, you feel like, hey, we owe the league now. We joined this league. Let's carry the flag for these guys. But there's no question, to win in Chapel Hill, to win in Raleigh, to beat the team from Durham last night. We got to go back to the team from Durham a week from Saturday. That's very powerful when you can do some damage on Tobacco Road in this league.
You know, we all decompress somehow. Not that my job's all that tough, but you joke with me a lot. Where are you going on your cruise this year? And we're thinking of planning our next one. And then I thought back 2-3 years ago, I'm in the middle of the ocean, and I open the paper, and it goes, Gary Williams leaves Maryland, Mike Brey candidate.
Yeah.
You've been here for 15 years. You have been in the mix for a lot of other jobs, some of them for a lot more money, and you've never taken them because this is the right fit. Why is this the right fit for you?
You know, I think how I've been trained and where I've been and getting the kind of young man that we get here is, it's really a special guy. I mean, they know they have to compete in the classroom as much as the basketball court. I love that about the place. You know, school's hard here, as we have found out many times. It's hard. But, you know, I look at that as a positive. You know, the guys we get, nobody's tricked into coming here. They know this thing's going to be hard. And, I was trying to get a guy for the radio show tonight. VJ had the least amount of work tonight so I could get him. You know, the other guys were too busy with homework, which is great. And, you know, I really believe in the mission of the place. And, you know, it allows me to still be a teacher. You know, I was trained as a high school teacher and coach, and, you know, I think this place still allows me to be the teacher that I am. And, you know, you've put your name on a program now after 15 years, and we were really good in the Big East, and now we're trying to create an identity in the ACC, and I look at that as a new challenge. And, you know, when I got here 15 years ago, you know, I told him, I said, I hope I'm good enough to stay around here, you know, to retire here someday. And, you know, luckily, I'm as good as my last game, so at least till Saturday it'll keep me around. Huh?
Well, right now you're the #1 coach in the country.
Oh,
so
is that? Yeah.
I think that's the way that goes.
That can change real quick.
Well, we have a lot of questions for the teacher, and we'll get to them right after this first time out. The Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House.
You're listening to the Mike Brey Basketball Show. Right now, the coaching staff isn't thinking about where to buy their next set of tires. But if they were, all they'd need to know is TireRack.com. They post their own test results and user reviews, so the coaches could get the right tires for their cars in as little as 1 business day. But the coaching staff's not thinking about tires. They're thinking, is it swish, swoosh, or nothing but net? Doesn't matter. It counts for 3. TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
Join the gang at O'Rourke's Public House, located in Eddy Street Commons, directly across the street from the Notre Dame campus. With over 24 beers on draft and an extensive selection of menu items, they're sure you'll find something to your liking. Experience dining in one of the 5 different Irish-themed areas overlooking Notre Dame's beautiful campus. Whether you're catching up with an old friend, meeting or enjoying dinner with your family, O'Rourke's is the place to be. Visit them online at o'rourkespublichouse.com. Cheers to the Irish from O'Rourke's, the official home of the Mike Brey Radio Show.
Sometimes life throws you for a loop. You get injured on the job, tear up a knee playing sports, or are forced to undergo surgery. Then what? Fortunately, there's ATI Physical Therapy, an official sponsor of Notre Dame Athletics. From the second you step into one of ATI's over 300 locations, you'll see that ATI is taking physical therapy to a higher level. You do have a choice in physical therapy, so ask your doctor about ATI and find the clinic nearest you at ATIPT.com. ATI, taking physical therapy to a higher level. Get there.
What did real college basketball fans have to say about Xfinity on the X1 Entertainment operating system?
This is the ultimate experience right here.
With the Sports app, you can track multiple games while watching the Fighting Irish live.
Get the college basketball you want when you switch to Xfinity TV, Internet, and Voice for $99 a month for 2 years. Visit Comcast.com or call 1-800-XFINITY today. Offer ends 3/31/15. Restrictions apply. New starter except triple play customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment, taxes, and fees including broadcast TV and RSN fees extra and subject to change. After promo, regular rates apply.
Welcome back to the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House. And I think lost in all the spectacular offensive plays your team had in the comeback last night was the fact that you held Duke to 3 field goals over the final 10 minutes or so of the game. So Gary Rivers is back. He actually missed the show, and I actually checked on him to make sure he was okay.
Yeah, I mean, if Gary misses a show, we better check on him.
We did check on him. Wow, what a game. He'd like to know, is defense something you can teach, or does it come from within from each individual player?
I think it's both. I think it's a little bit of both, and we felt we needed to really improve in that area after last season, and I think we've made great strides. You know, we go in and out of, we're not locking people down all 65 possessions or 75, but boy, when we really need one, we've been able to rely on stops. And I think a lot of it starts with Demetrius's ball pressure. He's able to get the other point guard to start their offense out a little bit further. And, you know, so that I think that's helped us.
When I just in my game prep for last night's game, and I looked in the ACC standings, in most of the statistical categories, you were ahead of Duke. And not that they're the only milestone to look at, but you're right in the middle of the pack in most of the defensive categories, and you're at the top of most of the standings in offense. That's a pretty good combination.
Yeah, I think we're solid in those areas. You know, we've really been able to rely, and you know, I think we've instilled a different mentality. It started back when we only had 6 guys in the workouts in April because Pat was playing baseball and Jaron wasn't here, and the returning guys, we did a lot of 3-on-3 defending ball screens because that's what we see a lot, and you know, it paid off, and then we continued it in June, and you know, it's how we start practice. But you know, when you have a ball pressure guy out there, it makes your other guys a little better defensively. They can get out in passing lanes. We pressure the ball a little bit more. We've been able to turn some people over. So that gets you some easy buckets, and that keeps you from not having to block out all the time since we're smaller.
Deb H. is here from Niles, and you want your fans to believe that every call against you is wrong.
Sure.
And I think Deb believes this. Coach Brey, how do you handle the officials' no calls when we are beat to a pulp on the boards on a daily basis? So obvious last night with Okafor. He can't get away with that in the NBA.
You know, I do think they may have a little trouble officiating him because he can dislodge people as he's backing people down. He's so big and he's so powerful. I actually asked the official last night, how do I tell my guys to guard him? Because he's
why you were on the rules. Why do they allow this? Why can the offensive guy basically forearm the defensive guy off? But if you arm bar as a defender, it's a foul.
I know. I think we're struggling with that. I do believe it's really hard to officiate the post now with the physical play on both sides. But he's such a big guy; he can dislodge guys, and you know, not that you're going to call everything, but it's hard to tell your guys how to guard him when they're getting dislodged. I thought Bonzi did a fabulous job of just getting the heck knocked out of his chest, but he's long and he's rangy. He just kind of stayed on him like a spider. He was like an octopus on him all the time.
Bonzi got a 7'3" reach.
His wingspan's about 7'1". He's 6'5", but it's a weird, you know, and he's a fighter. He's a battler. I mean,
and he's quick.
He's quick. And you saw against Georgia Tech, he gets the elbow in the nose and gets a bloody nose. It picks up a flagrant. I mean, he's not afraid to put his chest and his nose in there. He gave us really good minutes and probably exhausted Okafor a little bit because Okafor's really hard to deal with. We didn't want to double him. You know, everybody's been doubling him. My feeling is you start doubling, and we haven't really done that. If they start knocking down 10, 11, 12 threes, you're going to lose. You keep it to 7 because they can shoot it like us. They can get on a run. We could absorb the 2s, and my feeling was I think we can score on them. So we're going to have to score. And so many people today have emailed me or texted me on how enjoyable a game it was because people were putting the ball in the basket. We've had a lot of games, 43, 38, 51, 48.
In college basketball.
In college basketball.
Not you.
No, I'm sorry, not us, but college basketball, not since we burned. But in college basketball where, you know, people were like, God, that was fun to watch, the ball going in the hole a little bit. And those were 2 good offensive teams. We were going to have to score to escape, and we scored enough.
And I mentioned that to somebody today. Even in your blowouts earlier against some of your lesser opponents, you were fun to watch because you never let up on the defensive end because your team is always keeping track of kills.
Yeah, that's the thing we started. 3 stops in a row equals a kill, and we keep that during the game. And Demetrius is one of those guys at timeouts. They'll ask Coach Pilatus, how many do we have? How many do we have? And so it's on their mind. It's a mentality that I think we needed to instill after last season, and it's firmly instilled now.
Scott Rivers is here from South Bend. Coach, at the end of the game, what did you say to Coach K, or what did he say to you?
Oh, he was great. He actually said, boy, your kids made some big shots tonight, and, he was the true gentleman and sportsman that he is. And, it was a great – they played well. Mm-hmm. And, we would have been really disappointed if we lost, but, God, we played well too. It was just a good college game. No one's going to die because of the loss, us if we had lost or them. But, it was just a really well-played game by 2 skilled teams offensively. The energy in the building and the atmosphere, our fans were fabulous. Mike Danch has been working games and been around Notre Dame for a long time. He told me today, he said, seen a lot of atmospheres in that building, not seen one better. And in my 15 years, that's as good as it gets.
Well, I used my
now we got 4 more home games.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I used my seniority last night. Jordan gave Player of the Game to Jaron. That was a no-brainer. Who also won ACC Player of the Week this week and is a big candidate for it next week.
Yeah.
But I said I wanted to give it to the crowd, not just the students, but everybody.
Yeah.
But with the codicil, the great programs, Duke, NC State, Carolina in this league, they do that every night. Need to get to the point where you're doing that every night.
Well, what would be a great message to our team, and I think we really deserve this, to have a similar atmosphere next Wednesday against Boston College. I know they're not Duke. I know they're not ranked. I know there's not all this hype. But we're in the midst of a heck of a race here for the regular season championship. And if our guys can come out on Wednesday and see our fans like that, it really helps us. There's no question about it. I think they deserve it.
I agree. And, hey, it's BC. There's a rivalry there. And having grown up there, there's nothing. BC would give up body parts to beat you.
Yeah, we got 2 with them and 2 with Clemson still. It's interesting. We've got, 2 repeat opponents still left on the schedule. Obviously, we got to go back to Durham. You got Syracuse coming in here. We got to go. So we at Louisville, which means that's 4 overtimes at least, in that one. And Clemson here on senior night.
Well, we got a lot more questions. Going to do another quick question segment after this timeout with Coach. Then we'll get VJ up here. It's the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House.
Central banks across the globe are devaluing their currencies to make their exports cheap. The result is a currency war that threatens deflation and the world economy. And we're already seeing the results, with Japan and Italy slipping into recession and Europe suffering from near-record unemployment. Will you be prepared for the next economic crisis? Now is the time to diversify your portfolio with physical gold. Call the only company I trust, Goldline. 1-877-365-COIN. Ask them about the different payment options and read their important risk information to see if buying gold and silver is right for you. But don't wait. Get the information now. 1-877-365-COIN. And don't forget, for a limited time and exclusively for my listeners, just for calling in, Goldline will give you a George Washington $1 presidential coin absolutely free, along with the free investor kit. Call Goldline today at 1-877-365-2646, 1-877-365-COIN, 1-877-365-COIN.
Hi, travelers. Tom Edgerton, Edgerton's Travel Service. We have a new tour to Texas in April. Amtrak will take us to Dallas, and then we bus to Fort Worth and the historic stockyards. You'll enjoy a rodeo and a longhorn cattle run. Watch out for those horns. There will be time to shop and buy a pair of boots, and then stop at Billy Bob's, the largest honky-tonk in the world. Next, it's off to Austin for a tour of the capital, and then on to San Antonio. A special dinner has been arranged on the Riverwalk, and our sightseeing will include the Texas Hill Country and the LBJ Ranch. While driving to Galveston on the coast, we make a stop at the Houston Space Center, where you can see the historic Apollo Mission Control Center. The Texas Seaport Museum and the tall ship Alyssa are in the Galveston Seaport, and then we head back home. What a great state for sightseeing. Let's go. Call Edgerton's for a brochure. Edgerton's planning wonderful vacations since 1924.
Legacy Heating and Air will match your interest in being comfortable this winter with an offer of no interest until 2020 on a brand new Daikin Comfort System, complete with a 12-year unit replacement limited warranty and up to $1,650 in rebates. It's a long winter ahead, so you may as well start saving right now. Make an appointment with Legacy Heating and Air. Go to LegacyHeatingandAirInc.com or call 855-273-8444 for details. Legacy Heating and Air, a Cook family business.
Welcome back to the Mike Brey Radio Show. This question is unsigned, but we'll ask it in the spirit of the season. Coach, what is the pregame ball pressure protocol for your sport?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. We let the air out of the balls a little bit at halftime.
He still scored.
That's why
the officials just hold them, right? They don't put a.
They'll usually check with the point guards are very particular about the ball. And, the refs are kind of trained. They'll ask Jaron and Demetrius or whoever the guards are, pick one out, especially the visitors, pick one out. Now, what's interesting about our sport? Different teams play with different balls. They have different ball contracts. We've been Wilson for a long time, and Wilson's the NCAA tournament ball. I've always, my 20 years as a coach, I don't know why
everybody doesn't do that. Other than there must be some big dollar contracts.
Well, there's money involved. Nike makes Nike play with the Nike ball. Interestingly enough, Spalding is the pit ball, and it's also the ACC tournament ball. So we have a closet full of different basketballs, that Adidas, when we go play at NC State.
They got rid of the Rock. Nobody liked the Rock.
No one's playing with the Rock. Adidas at Louisville. NC State used to play with Adidas. So you have a closet full of basketballs that you'll bring out for a couple days before so the guys get their – one of the reasons we're not practicing here tomorrow, I just want to get into Pittsburgh and get in their gym at 6 o'clock, is get our hands on the Spalding basketballs for an hour and get a feel of the place. Because, it's different. It's different, and it's, it's all contract driven. But my feeling was if the NCAA tournament ball is Wilson, we want to play with a Wilson ball, and we've done that for 20 years.
Andy Prombo's here from Chicago. Coach, what do you have to say to Joe Lunardi for having Notre Dame as a number 3 seed and Duke as a number 2 seed even after last night's game?
I have nothing to say. I thought Joe's column today on our scheduling strategy was very interesting. He finally gave in and said, I've been after Mike about all these years and how he schedules and strength of schedule and all this. And his article's kind of, it kind of works for them. Our scheduling philosophy here had nothing to do with math as we came back this season. It had all to do with getting a group confident after last season. And we scheduled accordingly. And, I think we've achieved that going into league play, it's a group that kind of felt good about itself. And that was, I thought, such a key for us. But, I don't try not to look at bracketology here in January or early February. We're halfway through the league, and we still got 9 more league battles left.
Somehow, Sue from Boston fought her way out of all the snow to get out here tonight.
Is she here tonight?
She's here. She's always here. Coach, can you explain the review process? What can be reviewed, and who decides what play is reviewed?
We reviewed a 2 and a 3-point shot last night, right? Mm-hmm. So you can you certainly can review a shot. In the last 2 minutes, you can review who the ball went off of if you're not sure, which I think is a good thing to make sure you get that right. You can review a flagrant foul that if you think there was a flagrant, or you can review a timing situation.
But apparently there was a big controversy in the Duke game at St. John's because St. John's hit a 3 at the end of the half after the shot clock. You can't review the shot clock.
And it's funny you bring that up. I bet that will change next year. You can't review before halftime, but you can at the end of the game.
Yes.
And I bet that'll be extended to halftime because, St. John's bucket should not have counted. I was worried last night. Bastoria hit that shot in the corner and they were reviewing it. I kept saying to my staff, do we know if that's a 2 or a 3? And they said, well, I think it's a 3, and thank God it was a 3. It gave us a little more breathing room.
Well, we want to get VJ up here. So another break. We'll be back with VJ Beachem right after this timeout on the Mike Brey Radio Show.
Now at Papa John's, get a large one-topping pizza, breadsticks, and 2-liter for only $15.99. It's available every day for delivery or carry-out at South Bend, Mishawaka, and Granger locations. That's a large one-topping pizza, breadsticks, and a 2-liter for just $15.99. Order in-store or online at papajohns.com with promo code 1599P. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, a proud sponsor of Notre Dame Athletics. Limited time offer, not valid with any other coupons or discounts. Additional toppings extra. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
This is your life, live it well, South Bend Orthopedics.
Skylar Diggins of Notre Dame women's basketball was determined to return to the game.
I had a chip fracture in my wrist from the basketball game that I played in. I really was grateful of the treatment that I got at SBO. It really kind of helped me have a positive attitude and get back to where I could play. Today I feel great. I'm Skylar Diggins with Notre Dame women's basketball. This is my life. I'm living it well thanks to South Bend Orthopedics.
Like so many soldiers returning home from combat, adjusting to life as a civilian hasn't been easy for retired Army Staff Sergeant Ben Dellinger.
The hardest part was getting out. You don't lose your friends, but like basically all those people get taken away from you all at once. It felt like my life was over at times. Everything I thought I was totally different.
American heroes like Ben face many challenges when they return home. That's why, for more than 90 years, Bank of America has partnered with military organizations to support jobs, housing, and critical needs of veterans and their families. We're also committed to recruiting and hiring veterans, reservists, and military spouses. And for Ben, we partnered with Military Warrior Support Foundation to award his family a mortgage-free home.
This is something I never expected to happen, and I'm truly grateful to each and every person involved.
To find out more about Bank of America's efforts, visit bankofamerica.com/military support. 2013 Bank of America Corporation. Bank of America, NA member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Mike Brey Radio Show. Please welcome the pride of Fort Wayne, Indiana, forward VJ Beachem to our stage. VJ.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
He's leaving here and going to study hall. We're not making this stuff up, and he's got accounting homework to do tonight. He's in the Mendoza College of Business. So let's start with your after basketball career plans.
I'm hoping to become an agent. My cousin is an agent now, so hopefully I could become an agent if this basketball thing doesn't work out. So.
You can represent yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe.
Talk about just the tremendous lift he's been able to give you. He has the rare ability, with the exception of Virginia Tech. And I thought you had a great game because I even said on the air, get rid of all the misses now. We were up like 15, and he couldn't buy a basket. He was 0 for 10, 0 for 7 from 3. And the first time he touched the ball the next game, he knocked it down. He's able to come in the game, come off a screen, catch the ball, and hit a 3.
Well, you know, think about his career and think about last year. You know, one of the things when Jaron left us, it threw him more into the mix. We actually was thinking maybe we should redshirt him and talk to him about redshirting. But we're losing Jaron. All of a sudden, he's thrown in there. He got some key minutes as a freshman. And, you know, how about the shot he made against Pittsburgh here to put it into overtime? He was part of it. And where it didn't carry over to us winning a whole lot last year, he did get experience. So going into the foreign tour in Italy, I thought he was really a confident guy. He's gotten stronger. He's talking more. He knows our system. I always see guys when they get confident, they talk more. He was silent as a freshman, which a lot of freshmen are. But then in Italy, coming off the bench for us, what you see him doing for us, that's what he was doing over there. So we were really excited about the lift he could give us, and he's continued to do it. We lost him for a little bit with the plantar fasciitis. He's come back, and a mature player after the Blacks Virginia Tech night comes back and does what he did against NC State. Like, no problem. I'm good, and obviously gets the tip in at the buzzer, and he's just becoming more and more an all-around player, getting older, getting stronger, getting to be a voice in our program, and very much a clutch guy. Certainly when we really downshift and play the 5 guards, he's a big key. How about the Miami game? You know, we played that small lineup. He kind of jump-started us with his jump shots.
You hit a 3 to start the comeback, down 11 at the time, and you scored something like 21 points in 5 minutes, and your 3 was also the one that gave Notre Dame the lead. Talk about how you view your role.
Just trying to do whatever I can to help the team. For a long stretch, it was definitely knocking down threes, but just doing whatever I can on the glass, defensively lately. and just knocking down shots when I'm open.
I mean, I know everywhere, and we do it now too. We've got a video board, so we have the lights and the music and all the stuff to be a starter. But the NBA gives a 6th Man of the Year award for a reason, and that really is your role. Though coaches often said 6th starter. You're the 6th starter. But what is it like? How do you view the challenge of coming off the bench? Because, again, I have been doing this for a long time. That's why my hair's white. There aren't a lot of guys that can walk in and hit a 22-foot jumper 15 seconds after getting off the bench.
Just try to bring energy right away. That's something I talk about with all the guys coming off the bench, just trying to add to the punch right away and keep the energy level where it is.
Well, let's get to the many questions that we have for the players tonight. Who is the most physical team, VJ, that you've played this season? This is from Renee Buell of Michigan City.
This was a game that I didn't play against, but I would definitely say Michigan State was the most physical team we played against. The way they were on the offensive glass and their style of defense.
It seems like senior leadership down the stretch of tough games really takes over. How do you see that, VJ?
I agree 100%. Pat and Jaron, they're the guys that we really lean on, whether it's in the game or in the locker room. And just everything that they do for us day in and day out and being great voices is very important for us.
Doug Buell is also here. And so is John Scott, who would like to know NC State's final play. What were you thinking on that?
Just not to foul him on the 3. And Jaron got the block clean, so just not to foul him. And if they were to get a shot up, to get that rebound. And
Coach brought up your tip-in at NC State, which was huge and allowed me to really extend out the VJ part of your name on the radio broadcast. Talk about that play.
It was just I saw 3 guys on Pat when he went up, so I knew I was going to have a chance to get the tip in, so I tried to hang around the rim, and it came off to the right spot for me.
Drew Lister's here. What does VJ stand for?
My first name is really Victor, and I'm a junior, so VJ.
I don't know, Allie Lister, if Pat Connaughton actually has long hair, but VJ, they would like to know, what do you or other team members think of Steve's and Pat's long hair?
I wish they kept it. I wish they kept it when they had it, but they cut it, but who knows how long it would be by now. So,
John Scott's here. VJ, do you spend extra time in practice shooting threes?
Yeah, definitely. I have to hit 5 in a row before I can leave practice with Coach Solomon. So,
Lene Renz is here from Niles, wants to know if she can take a selfie with you.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for a selfie.
All right. When he gets off the set, we'll make sure that you can take the shot. When we come back, he's going to run the fast break here on the Mike Brey Radio Show live from O'Rourke's Public House.
You've heard him on the air.
Does anyone have a towel or a moist towelette?
Now you can see him on stage. Some of your favorite comedians heard on the Bob and Tom Show live and in person, and you don't want to miss it.
Hi, this is Bob. And this is Tom. These are some of our favorite comedians. We laughed all morning. We know you'll laugh all night.
It's the Keystone Light Friends of the Bob and Tom Show Comedy Tour coming to the Palais Royale on Saturday night, January 31st. Featuring America's most unlikely farmer, Drew Hastings.
You throw a 2 on the table. Waitress is so intrigued by the deuce, it barely registers. You've left her a dime tip.
Miss Pat.
I have your baby if you pay me.
So, Miss Pat, you can still have a baby?
Let's have a Barack Obama, Tom.
Dave Dyer.
We actually went and saw a financial planner. He says, how's your 401k? I said, right now, about $399K short.
And Chief McGee. Get your tickets now at the Morris Center ticket office, by phone at 235-9190 or online at morriscenter.org.
Get your tickets now.
It's the Keystone Light Friends of the Bob and Tom Show Comedy Tour.
Lease for 24 months with $4,064 due at signing plus tax and tag. No security deposit required with approved credit. Extra charges may apply at lease termination. No payments for 90 days and 0% financing with approved credit.
Make the switch today at Ziegler Elkhart Ford. Receive up to $1,000 switch cash and exclusive offers on our entire lineup. Switch to a 2014 F-150 Super Cab for only $249 a month. That's right, just $249 a month. Plus, no payments for 90 days and 0% financing available. This is an event you won't want to miss. Make the switch today at Ziegler Elkhart Ford for a great experience.
The 14th Annual Northern Indiana Tool Auction and Expo is on Friday, January 30th and Saturday, January 31st at the Michiana Event Center in Howe. Thousands of used and new tools and equipment will be auctioned off at huge discounts. Register for the $15,000 giveaway. Admission is $5 for the expo. 15 and under is free. Mention WSBT or New Country and receive a free door prize. For expo and auction times, visit toolauctionandexpo.com. That's toolauctionandexpo.com. Located just south of the toll road exit 121 on State Road 9.
It's Furniture Sale 2015. Located at the South Bend Self-Storage, the old Target building across from Town & Country Shopping Center. Huge discounts on Lane, Broyhill, and Franklin Furniture. Swivel Glide Rocker Recliners, just $299.99. Lane Sofa Sleepers, just $549.99. This is a limited time sale. Mention this ad and you can enter to win a free sofa. This is a limited sale, so hurry in for the best selection. Because when it's gone, it's gone.
We're back on the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House. Big crowd here tonight for the Fighting Irish, who are again alone in second place at this hour in the ACC. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, that does sound good, doesn't it? Halfway through, good spot.
Great spot to be. You know the drill here. Our fast break questions, usually on the TV show, it's a minute, but here it's like 3, 4, or 5 minutes. So have fun with this. Favorite all-time movie?
He Got Game.
First car you ever drove?
Cadillac.
Oh. We didn't buy it for him.
Get up early or sleep in?
Get up early.
Favorite musical group or artist?
Jay-Z.
Who's your role model?
My parents.
One thing the public would be surprised to learn about you?
That's a tough one. Can we come back to it?
Sure. Or maybe you don't have to let them know anything about
Hey.
it. That's favorite NBA player?
Kobe Bryant.
Favorite snack food?
Doritos.
Favorite thing to do when relaxing?
Listen to music.
Favorite sport to play other than basketball?
Baseball growing up.
Favorite part of practice?
Scrimmaging.
Worst part of practice?
Stretching.
Best part of your game?
Shooting.
Part of your game you need to work on?
Defending.
Your last tweet, on a mission, trying to shift the culture, what did that mean?
It's a Drake lyric, so I guess it's back to the music thing.
And this is basically showing how old I am, because I never know any of these lyrics. Which is better, knocking down a long three or sending home a spectacular dunk?
I think the dunks. I like the dunks, yeah.
Like the good one last night. Yeah, really good one last night.
Thank you.
Does it mean something to you guys to beat teams like Duke, if for no other, like the name?
I would definitely say yes, even though we look at it as just another win. To get a win like that for our program is definitely big to us as a team.
Favorite part of your trip to Italy?
Getting to eat lasagna all the time. That's my favorite food. So.
Player on the team most like you?
Demetrius.
ACC team you look forward to playing the most?
I hope we get another chance at Virginia.
Team not on the schedule you would like to play?
This year, IU.
Player on the team most likely to be on the cell phone the longest?
Austin Torres, for sure.
City or place in the world you would like to visit?
London.
One person you'd like to meet?
The president.
One thing you always hear from Coach Brey in practice?
You can't get sliced like that, VJ.
Now this is Coach Brey's favorite question. Assistant coach who is most like Coach Brey.
Rob Balanis, 100%. 100%.
It's amazing how it's unanimous. It really is.
Best nickname on the team and who has it?
Michi, Demetrius.
Best player to room with on the road?
Bonzi.
Toughest Notre Dame player to guard?
Jaron Grant, for sure.
Best defender on the team?
Steve.
Best leaper on the team?
Austin Torres.
Best dunker on the team?
Me.
No argument. That's true.
Worst dunker on the team?
Steve.
Best dresser on the team?
Zach August.
Worst dresser on the team?
The walk-on, Matt Gregory.
Ooh. Best singer on the team?
Bonzi.
Worst singer on the team?
Ooh, everybody else.
You guys don't sing well. We're not going to have you guys go caroling as a group.
No.
Huh? We didn't do the Christmas carol singing this year either. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, now you know why.
Yeah. Best comedian on the team?
Jaron or Austin Torres.
Worst comedian on the team. Guy who thinks he's funny, but he's not.
EK, Eric Contender.
Best comedian, if there is one, on the coaching staff.
Rod Balanis.
Free throw contest. Who wins, you or Coach Brey?
I got a lot of confidence in myself, even though I missed 2 last night. But
so it'll be you.
Yeah, I'll say me.
All right.
He's got it.
How much accounting work you got to do tonight?
Quite a bit. All
right, we're going to let you out of here. VJ Beachem, great job on the Mike Brey Radio Show.
Thanks, V. Great job, babe.
Outstanding. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this timeout.
Join the gang at O'Rourke's Public House, located in Eddy Street Commons, directly across the street from the Notre Dame campus. With over 24 beers on draft and an extensive selection of menu items, they're sure you'll find something to your liking. Experience dining in one of the 5 different Irish-themed areas overlooking Notre Dame's beautiful campus. Whether you're catching up with an old friend, meeting or enjoying dinner with your family, O'Rourke's is the place to be. Visit them online at o'rourkespublichouse.com. Cheers to the Irish from O'Rourke's, the official home of the Mike Brey Radio Show.
Trim your nose hair. Eat bacon. Lay on the couch longer. These are examples of things you could do instead of waiting around for a haircut. Check in at greatclips.com or download the new check-in app and save some time. Do stuff like duct tape something, cuddle, stretch your hammy.
Next time, save time with the new online check-in app from Great Clips. No more waiting around, because now we'll be waiting for you. Download the free check-in app today. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
St. Joseph Regional Medical Center is one of the most wired hospitals in the country. You might be asking, why adopt all this new technology well before other hospitals do? Because it helps our doctors and nurses provide a higher level of care. Because it keeps our patients safer. Because it's what we're called to do. That's why.
You're listening to the Mike Brey Basketball Show. Right now, the coaching staff isn't thinking about where to buy their next set of tires. If they were, they could go to TireRack.com to find the right tires for their cars and get them delivered to an independent recommended installer. But the coaching staff isn't thinking about tires. They're thinking, let's go to the 1-2-2 3/4 court trap. Time for a turnover. TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
Welcome back to the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House. I know you're forward-focused, but let's just talk a little bit before we start talking about Saturday. You've talked about the leadership of Jaron and Pat, but what makes these two guys so special and how they have really become the partners and leaders? Pat's the captain. Jaron could be, but because he had the misstep, you couldn't make him a captain. I mean, that's just not usually done. But they really are the two leaders of your team.
Yeah, there's no question. It's their team. They're running things. And, you know, anytime you have seniors helping you run the locker room, run the group, that helps you. And really, we've had that most every year here.
Yes.
We've had great senior upperclassmen leadership. Jaron and Pat's, there's been none better than those two guys. They've played a lot together. They've won a lot together. And I think they really talked about bouncing our program back after last year together. And they have absolutely delivered on all those fronts.
You're playing so well right now, but you can always get better. As you look at this team, what areas are you looking for improvement in?
You know, I think I love that we got off to a better start last night. You know, instead of being down in a hole, you know, we were down in a hole in the second half. That doesn't really concern me as much. I think for us to be a consistent rebounding team, you know, to be better at our blockouts, because that's such a key for us, how we block people out. And overall, we've been pretty good. I think we can be better there. And for us to really dream big dreams, we're going to have to be great in that area.
Sometimes I think maybe the media makes too much of this. I mean, do games really just come down to the better team, or do outside factors sometimes impact them? And what I'm looking at is Pitt losing at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech hadn't won a conference game all year. Does that make them does that sometimes give a team even more resolve when they're going back home?
Well, I think one thing you can't lose sight of, Pitt is still the Pitt program. And Jamie Dixon's done a fabulous job there. And there's a lot of pride. And they will come, and they don't lose much in the Peterson Center. They will come out spitting fire on Saturday. And if we're not ready, we could get our butts kicked. And that's why I've been after our guys starting last night after the game that, we need to move on from the Blue Devils and get ready for this one. And because we've had great games with Pitt. They've been just great. I mean, the one last year here, double overtime. It's really been a heck of a rivalry that now we've carried over to the ACC. Well, we've won, I think, 2 in a row in the Peterson Center. So we've won in this building before, even though a lot of people don't win there. But it's Pitt is Pitt. Physical half-court defense. They pound the offensive board, which worries me because that's a little bit of a weakness of ours. They're not shooting it real good, but they drive at you physically. They're going to play a little more zone than they've ever played before. I don't think we've been as efficient attacking zone as we need to be. And so we could see more of that tomorrow or Saturday on the road.
So talk about the best ways to attack zone, because the average fan assumes you just shoot over it. But if you just try to do that, people try to do that to Syracuse, and they don't have a lot of success.
Yeah, I think you got to get some touches around that foul line. We've gotten Jaron to the foul line some, and Pat, and that's a pretty good guy to attack zone. Getting short corner touches so you flatten the zone is a good thing. Ball screening the zone. The one thing I think, not to overanalyze that it's a zone. You just still want your same good offensive principles. And we're an amazingly talented offensive group. Cut, screen, reverse the ball. Hit, fire it low, come back out, screen. You can do all that against zone as you do against man. But eventually, if you're playing against zone for a long time, eventually you've got to make some shots over the top, because that's what they're going to give up. So you want your shooters to be very confident stepping up and taking good ones.
Usually by this time of year, your rotation's pretty well set with about 8 guys. And by the way, Duke's playing 8 guys this year. But I sense this year's a little different. It might still be an 8-guy rotation, but 7 and 8 very much may change game to game.
Right now we're kind of playing 7. We've been in a mode where we played 7 guys. Bonzi and VJ off the bench. But Bonzi Colson didn't play for 17 games, and now he's a main guy. And some of the guys that were playing, Martin Gebbin, Austin Torres, Burgett, you got to keep them plugged in, because you never know how this thing could change. Pat Connaughton goes down on his head the other night. I'm thinking, I wonder how long he's going to be gone. So you just got to, I think it's up to us as coaches to keep them engaged, because you never know when that thing could change.
Coach, thank you very much.
Great to be with you, man. Go Irish.
Noon game on Saturday, airtime here on WSBT 1140 Saturday morning for VJ Beachem and Coach Brey. I'm Jack Nolan. Thanks for coming out. Good night, everybody, and go Irish.